You think you know exactly why Anna Johnston walked away from her family and the cameras? But what if I told you that the narrative you saw play out on screen was a carefully constructed cover-up for a legal and financial war happening behind closed doors? We have received insider reports suggesting that the Season 7 finale wasn't just a dramatic exit. It was a calculated escape from what some sources are calling a contractual prison. There are whispers circulating among production staff that Anna didn't just quit. She allegedly threatened to expose years of unscripted reality that would have shattered Trent and Amber's image permanently. The tears were real, but the motive wasn't just emotional estrangement. It was about survival. What you are about to hear changes everything regarding the Johnstons, the network, and the dark truth about reality TV contracts involving children who grow up to realize they are the product. Before we expose the leaked details of the secret negotiations and the real reason Trent suddenly admitted fault after years of silence, you need to hit that like button and subscribe to 7 Little People right now. We are the only channel brave enough to dig into the reports that TLC tries to bury. Turn on notifications because this story is developing fast and you do not want to miss the evidence we are uncovering. Let's go back to that room. That suffocating, tension-filled room where Trent, Amber, and Anna sat down for what was billed as a reconciliation meeting. On TV, it looked like a sad family attempt to bridge a gap. But exclusive theories from those close to the production suggest that this meeting was never intended to fix the family. It was allegedly a mandatory filming block required to fulfill the final obligations of a contract. Listen closely to what Anna said. She claimed the meeting was strictly for filming. Most viewers took that as her being cynical, but our analysis of new insider chatter suggests she was being literal. There is a theory floating around that the production company was terrified. Why? Because without Anna, the ratings data showed a massive dip in viewer retention. Anna is the sympathetic hero. Trent and Amber, according to the metrics, have become the villains. The network needed a redemption arc, not for Anna, but for the parents. This brings us to the most suspicious moment in the show's history: Trent's apology. Think about it. For seasons, we have watched Trent and Amber double down. They are always right. Their parenting is flawless. The kids are the problem. Suddenly, in a confessional booth away from Amber's controlling gaze, Trent admits that the estrangement wasn't all Anna's fault. He admits they ghosted her. He admits he wasn't nice. Why the sudden change of heart? We are looking at reports that suggest this wasn't a moral awakening. It was a strategic PR move advised by the network's crisis management team. The theory is that the fan backlash had become so severe, threatening the show's renewal for future seasons, that the producers allegedly sat Trent down and told him that if he didn't show some humanity, the audience would revolt. They needed to soften his image to keep the advertisers happy. It wasn't an apology to his daughter, it was an apology to the bank account. But here is where it gets darker. While Trent was playing the part of the reflective father for the cameras, insiders claim that the dynamic off-camera was colder than ever. Anna revealed that once the crew packed up the lights and microphones, the phone stopped ringing. If they were truly sorry, if they truly acknowledged their fault, why did the effort vanish the second the paycheck was secured? This validates the explosive theory that the Johnstons operate as a business first and a family second. The "always here for you" line Amber fed us at the end of the meeting? Sources suggest that was a line fed to her by a field producer to give the scene a button, a distinct ending that left the door open for a spin-off or a return, securing future content options. Now, let's look at the new player in this game, who has the family and the network sweating: Jeffrey. The internet sleuths found the mugshot, and the narrative immediately shifted to Anna is in trouble. But let's flip that script with some exclusive theoretical analysis. What if the family's hatred of Jeffrey isn't about his past legal troubles, but about his current influence on Anna's independence? We are hearing whispers that Jeffrey is the first person in Anna's life who is encouraging her to read the fine print of her contracts. The fear inside the Johnston household, according to speculation, isn't that Jeffrey is a bad influence, but that he is a disruptor. He is someone from outside the reality TV bubble who doesn't care about the show's ratings. When Anna posted that photo, the one deemed controversial by fans, it wasn't just a rebellious act, it was a signal. It was her way of saying she owns her image now, not the network, and certainly not Amber. There is a terrifying aspect to this that no one is talking about. We have seen reports of theft by conversion regarding Jeffrey, but let's look at the accusations fans are hurling at Amber. Narcissistic personality tendencies. While we cannot diagnose anyone, the behavior patterns match a very specific control dynamic. When the scapegoat of the family, Anna, finally breaks free and finds a partner who validates her feelings, the narcissistic parent often goes into a tailspin. We are seeing leaks that Amber pushed hard for the production to highlight Jeffrey's past, hoping to turn the audience against him. It's a classic smear campaign. If they can paint Jeffrey as a villain, it justifies their estrangement from Anna. It validates their narrative that Anna makes bad choices. But the plan backfired. The audience didn't turn on Anna, they rallied around her. They saw a young woman desperate for love, finding it in the only place where she wasn't being judged for her past. Let's go deeper into the money. Reality TV pays, but it pays the leads the most. For years, Trent and Amber have controlled the finances of the family pot. Now that the kids are adults, specifically Anna and Liz, the question of individual contracts comes into play. There is a circulating theory that part of the tension leading up to the season 7 finale was a dispute over pay parity. Anna, being a fan favorite, allegedly realized she was driving the social media engagement and the storylines, yet she was reportedly being treated like a supporting character in her own life. By walking away, she didn't just hurt their feelings. She potentially hurt their bottom line. If Anna gets her own spin-off, which rumors suggest is being piloted under a working title, it would arguably destroy the main show. The Johnstons, without the drama of the black sheep, are just a family watching TV and making TikToks. The network knows this, Trent knows this, and Amber absolutely knows this. And what about Liz, the golden child, the one doing everything right? We need to talk about the immense pressure cooker she is living in. While Anna is the scapegoat, Liz is the trophy. But trophies are polished and put on a shelf. They aren't allowed to have cracks. We have reports that the perfect stability of Liz and Bryce is a carefully curated facade protecting a much more volatile reality. The breakup? It was real. The reunion? Some skeptics believe it was heavily encouraged by the promise of a wedding and baby special, which carries a significant bonus in the reality TV pay structure. Think about it. They break up because the spark is gone and suddenly they are back together, buying a house, having a baby, and getting married in the backyard. That is a producer's dream timeline. It moves too fast, it feels scripted. And exclusive theories suggest that Liz is trapped in the role of the success story to counterbalance Anna's rebellion. If Liz fails, if her marriage crumbles, the parents' entire method of upbringing is called into question. Liz isn't just living her life, she is performing the role of proof that Trent and Amber's system works. This creates a psychological war between the sisters that the cameras rarely capture fully. Anna's freedom makes Liz's cage look smaller. Every time Anna posts a photo of her elated face with Jeffrey, despite the controversy, it has to sting Liz, who is playing by the rules and arguably carrying the burden of the family's reputation. We are hearing whispers of off-camera blow-ups between the sisters that were cut from the final edits to protect the united front storyline. The show wants us to believe the sisters are okay, but social media activity, likes, follows, and unfollows, tells a different story of cold wars and silent treatments. The producers are in a bind. They have hours of footage that they allegedly cannot use because it exposes the fourth wall. There are rumors of hot mic moments where Amber is heard coaching the younger kids on what to say about Anna during their confessionals. If these tapes ever leak, it wouldn't just be a scandal. It would be the end of the show. The integrity of the reality would be gone. This is why the framing of Anna's exit was so crucial. They had to make it look like her decision, her flaw, her need for time. If they admitted they pushed her out or that they refused to film with her unless she followed a script, the audience would abandon the show overnight. We also need to discuss the timeline. The show films months in advance. What we are seeing now is old news to them. But the silence on social media from the family regarding Anna's recent life updates is deafening. Usually, families celebrate milestones. When Anna hard-launched Jeffrey, the Johnston main account was silent. No likes, no comments, nothing. This digital shunning confirms the theory that the estrangement is total and complete. They aren't waiting for her. They have excommunicated her. And the only reason they haven't issued a public statement condemning her new boyfriend is likely because their contract forbids them from spoiling the upcoming season's storyline. They are legally bound to pretend there is hope for reconciliation, even though, in reality, the bridge has been burned to ashes. Furthermore, let's look at the location data. Fans have spotted filming crews in Georgia recently, but they have been seen exclusively at Liz's new house and the main Johnston compound. There have been 0 sightings of crews at Anna's residence. This suggests that Anna truly is out. But here's the twist. Reports say the network is secretly negotiating a return fee for Anna that is double what the parents make. Why? Because the comments section on every single post TLC makes is flooded with, "Where is Anna?" and "We support Anna." The network answers to the shareholders, and the shareholders want ratings. The power dynamic has flipped. The parents who controlled the housing, the cars, and the narrative are now powerless against the popularity of the daughter they cast aside. Trent's admission of fault in that confessional was the first crack in the dam. But why did Amber refuse to join him in that sentiment? Exclusive theories point to a massive rift between Trent and Amber themselves. We have heard rumors, again, that the stress of the show and the public backlash is causing friction in their own marriage. Trent wants to salvage the public image by being humble. Amber refuses to admit defeat. This ideological split could be the main storyline of the next season. The united front is crumbling. If Trent starts filming scenes with Anna behind Amber's back, which is a rumored plot point for the upcoming season, it would be the ultimate betrayal in Amber's eyes, but a ratings goldmine for TLC. The narrative of theft by conversion with Jeffrey is interesting because it mirrors what fans accuse the parents of doing emotionally, converting Anna's childhood trauma into content for profit. The irony is palpable. They judge Jeffrey for a property crime while they are accused of an emotional crime. Anna is caught in the middle, trying to distinguish who actually loves her for her and who loves her for what she provides. The sad reality, according to psychological experts who review the show, is that Anna might be drawn to troubled partners because chaos is her baseline for love. She was raised in a chaotic, performative environment. A calm, stable relationship might feel foreign to her. This makes her vulnerable, yes, but it doesn't make her parents right. It makes them the architects of her vulnerability. As we wrap up this first deep dive into the hidden mechanics of the Johnston family breakdown, you have to ask yourself, what are they hiding in the footage that didn't make the cut? We have heard about a lost episode, a compilation of fights so severe that the legal department at TLC pulled them from the schedule. Rumor has it, this footage contains the real reason Anna moved out so abruptly, and it has nothing to do with school or rules, and everything to do with a specific incident involving Amber that crossed a line. Let's talk about the footage that never made it to air, the so-called lost episode that insiders are whispering about. According to exclusive theories circulating in private production forums, there was an altercation filmed roughly 3 months before Anna officially moved out that was deemed too toxic for the TLC brand. We are hearing reports that this wasn't just a shouting match. It was a moment where the mask completely slipped. The theory goes that during a heated argument about Anna's budget and her desire to travel alone, Amber allegedly made a comment that targeted Anna's biological roots, weaponizing her adoption trauma in a way that left the crew in stunned silence. If this footage exists, and sources say it is locked in a digital vault at the production headquarters, it explains everything. It explains why Anna's eyes look so hollow in those final confessionals. It explains why Trent looked terrifyingly quiet. They weren't parenting. They were doing damage control for a PR nightmare that they created. But the control didn't stop with emotional manipulation, it extended to the legal system. We need to discuss the non-disclosure agreements. You might think Anna is staying silent out of respect, but our analysis suggests she is staying silent out of fear of litigation. Insider reports indicate that the contract the Johnston children signed upon turning 18 is draconian. It allegedly stipulates that they cannot disparage the primary talent, that being Trent and Amber, without facing financial penalties that would bankrupt them. This is why Anna's truth comes out in cryptic Instagram captions and liked comments rather than full interviews. She is fighting a war with her hands tied behind her back by a legal team paid for by the show's profits that she helped generate. Connect the dots regarding Anna's small business. When Anna started her jewelry and accessory line, it was a massive success. Fans bought everything she sold out of solidarity. But have you noticed how rarely that business is promoted on the main show compared to the other kids' endeavors? There is a theory that this was a calculated suppression. Sources suggest that Trent and Amber allegedly tried to fold Anna's business into the family LLC, demanding a percentage of the revenue under the guise of management fees. When Anna refused, asserting her financial independence, the support from the parents evaporated. This validates the theft by conversion theme we see with Jeffrey, but in a much more corporate, insidious way. They didn't steal her inventory. They tried to steal her autonomy. By refusing to let them wet their beaks in her profits, Anna committed the ultimate sin in the Johnston household. She proved she didn't need them to survive. Now, shift your focus to Jonah, the forgotten son. While we focus on Anna's rebellion and Liz's compliance, Jonah represents the tragedy of failure to launch. But is his failure organic, or was it manufactured? Exclusive theories suggest that Jonah's struggles, his issues with college, his job hopping, his car dealership saga, were exacerbated by the parents to create a storyline about tough love. We are hearing reports that Jonah has secretly been acting as a double agent. While living under Trent and Amber's roof, adhering to their strict rules, sources claim he has been feeding information to Anna about what is being said about her behind her back. This changes how you view Jonah's scenes. When he looks uncomfortable or checked out, it might not be laziness. It might be the guilt of a spy living in enemy territory. If Jonah ever decides to flip and join Anna publicly, the parents lose their hold on the narrative completely. The boys versus girls dynamic they try to push falls apart if the eldest son walks away. And then there are the youngest two, Alex and Emma. This is where the cycle of reality TV trauma becomes most visible. Watch closely. Alex is being molded into a mini Trent, adopting the same tone of voice, the same dismissive attitude towards the women in the family. Emma is being positioned as the new mediator, the role Liz used to play. But there are cracks. We have received tips that the teachers and school administrators in their district have raised concerns privately about the pressure these kids are under. Imagine going to high school when your parents are broadcasting your puberty, your dating life, and your academic struggles to millions. The theory is that Alex's occasional outbursts on the show are not just teenage angst, they are cries for help from a kid who knows his college fund is tied to his compliance with the filming schedule. Let's circle back to Liz and Bryce because the happy ending narrative is crumbling faster than the network can edit it. Slow down the footage of their recent videos. Look at Bryce's body language. He rarely makes eye contact with the camera. He often stands with his arms crossed, physically guarding himself. We are hearing explosive rumors that Bryce has wanted to leave the show, and possibly the relationship, for over a year, but is allegedly trapped by the wedding and baby contract bonuses. The theory is that the network offered to pay for the house or the wedding in exchange for a multi-season commitment. If Bryce leaves now, he might be on the hook for thousands of dollars. He isn't just a husband. He is an employee of the Johnston family brand. This puts Liz in a heartbreaking position. She has to maintain the smile, play the happy wife, and pretend that her backyard wedding was her dream, rather than a budget-friendly production choice to maximize profit margins for the series. We also need to talk about the therapy sessions we see on the show. Reality TV veterans know that on-camera therapy is rarely ethical. But in the case of the Johnstons, it seems particularly performative. Notice how the therapist often nods along with Trent and Amber's perspective? Exclusive theories suggest these aren't random doctors. They are specialists vetted by the production company who understand the assignment. The assignment isn't to heal the family, it is to validate the parents' authority so the audience doesn't turn on them completely. It is gaslighting on a professional level. If Anna went to a real independent therapist, which she reportedly has done since leaving, the advice would likely be no contact. And that is exactly what she is executing. The show's version of therapy is designed to keep the dysfunction spinning because dysfunction sells ads. Resolution ends the show. There is a disturbing financial angle regarding the new house Liz and Bryce bought. Public records are tricky, but internet sleuths believe the deed might not be as straightforward as it seems. There is speculation that Trent and Amber's names are attached to the property or the loan, giving them leverage over Liz's living situation. If Liz steps out of line, if she defends Anna too loudly, do her parents have the power to pull the rug out from under her home? This is the ultimate control mechanism, housing insecurity disguised as parental generosity. We helped you buy this house quickly turns into, this is our house and you live here by our rules. It is the same trap Anna escaped, and the same trap Liz walked right into with a smile. Let's go darker. What happens if the show gets canceled? The Johnstons have built a lifestyle that requires a massive income stream. The renovations, the cars, the land, it all costs money. Without the TLC checks, the empire collapses. We are hearing reports that Trent and Amber are terrified of this possibility, which is why they are ramping up the drama. They know that a boring family gets canceled. A fractured family gets renewed. This leads to the sickening theory that they might be intentionally provoking Anna to keep the conflict alive. Every time Amber posts a passive-aggressive quote on Facebook, every time Trent makes a shady comment in an interview, it reignites the feud. They are feeding the beast. They are selling their daughter's peace of mind to pay the mortgage. It is a commodification of their own child's misery. The fan community is noticing something else. The editing is starting to turn. For years, the editors protected Trent and Amber. They cut around the harsh words. They added whimsical music to make their strictness seem quirky. But in Season 7 and beyond, the edits have become sharper. We are seeing longer pauses after Amber says something cruel, letting the silence hang. We are seeing close-ups of Trent's angry expressions. Why? Because the production crew is human. They spend 12 hours a day with these people. There is a growing belief that the crew is Team Anna, and they are subtly sabotaging the parents through the edit. They are showing us the reality they have seen for years. When you see a scene that makes Amber look particularly cold, don't think it was an accident. It was a choice by an editor who is tired of the facade. And what about Jeffrey's past? Let's look at it through the lens of the Lost Boys theory. Anna attracts broken people because she feels broken. But reports say Jeffrey has been nothing but respectful to the few family members he has met. The mugshot is real, yes, but the context is missing. Was it a misunderstanding? A youthful mistake? The parents haven't bothered to find out. They saw the headline and used it as ammunition. Meanwhile, Trent has a history of questionable decisions that are laughed off as Trent being Trent. The double standard is staggering. If Trent makes a mistake, it's a funny anecdote. If Anna's boyfriend makes a mistake, he is a criminal mastermind here to destroy the family. This hypocrisy is what drove Anna away, and it is what is driving the audience to revolt. The network is watching the metrics. They see the YouTube comments. They see the Reddit threads. They know that 7 Little Johnstons is quickly becoming the Trent and Amber hate watch. And while hate watching counts as a view, it is not sustainable. Advertisers get nervous when the talent is universally loathed. This is why we believe the spin-off rumors are credible. TLC needs a lifeboat. A show focused on Anna, her new life, her friends, and her journey of healing would be an instant hit. It would be the breaking Amish of the little people world. And the thought of Anna getting her own show, her own paycheck, and her own stardom without them, that is Trent and Amber's worst nightmare. It isn't just jealousy. It is a loss of asset control. Keep your eyes on the social media activity of the extended family. Cousins, aunts, uncles. We are seeing a pattern of likes shifting towards Anna. The extended family knows the truth. They were at the barbecues before the cameras started rolling. They know who raised whom. There is a rumor that a tell-all book proposal is circulating from a disgruntled relative who watched Trent and Amber climb the ladder by stepping on their kids. If that book ever gets published, the NDAs won't matter. The court of public opinion will deliver a verdict that no crisis manager can fix. The situation with the dogs is another emotional weapon. Remember when Anna wasn't allowed to take her dog? That wasn't about logistics. It was about leverage. They held the dog hostage to force her to come visit. Now that she has her own dogs, her own pack, that leverage is gone. She has replaced the family unit with a canine unit that offers unconditional love, something she reportedly felt she never got from her parents. It is a tragic substitution, but a necessary one for her survival. As we move into the next phase of this analysis, we have to look at the replacement child theory. With Anna gone and Liz married off, who becomes the new project? Watch Emma. Watch how Amber is starting to micromanage Emma's clothing, her hobbies, her potential dating life. The vacuum left by Anna must be filled because Amber needs a project to critique. Emma is the next target, and unlike Anna, who fought back, Emma's personality is more eager to please. This makes her the perfect victim for a narcissistic control dynamic. We are already seeing the signs. The comments about Emma's outfits, the subtle digs at her maturity. History is repeating itself in 4K resolution, and we are just watching it happen. The timeline for the next season is crucial. If the filming schedule aligns with the rumors, we are about to see a season where the parents try to rewrite history. They will likely try to frame themselves as the victims of an ungrateful daughter. They might even try to bring in a life coach to mediate, creating a new circus to distract from the core issue. But the audience is smarter now. We have the receipts, we have the screenshots, We have the reports that align perfectly with the behavior we see on screen. They can't edit their way out of this one because the fourth wall has been shattered by Anna's departure. We are going to expose the secret financial structure of the show, how much money the kids have allegedly lost, and the shocking theory about why Trent really quit his job to work for the show full-time. You think you know about greed? You have no idea. You were told Trent Johnston left his stable job as a groundskeeper at a local college to pursue a new career in car sales because he wanted a change of pace. That is the storyline they fed you. That is the storyline the show spent episodes building. But we have received reports from sources within the local Georgia business community that suggest this career pivot was a complete fabrication designed to mask a much darker financial reality. The exclusive theory we are investigating is that Trent didn't quit to sell cars. He quit because the filming schedule required by TLC to keep the ratings up had become a full-time job in itself. But more importantly, insiders allege that Trent appointed himself the full-time brand manager of the Johnston family empire. This means that his job is now effectively managing his children as employees. When a father becomes a talent manager, the line between parenting and profiteering dissolves completely. The car salesman arc? Sources claim it was likely a paid partnership or a negotiated storyline to give him something to do on camera, because watching him manage spreadsheets of his children's appearance fees would have been too revealing for the audience to stomach. This brings us to the financial black hole that is reality television in the state of Georgia. You need to understand the geography of the law here. In California, there is something called the Coogan Law, which mandates that 15% of a child actor's earnings must be set aside in a blocked trust account that the parents cannot touch. It is a safeguard against greed. But here is the terrifying truth. Georgia has no such mandatory protections for reality TV participants in the same stringent way. It is the Wild West. We have consulted with entertainment legal experts who theorize that for the vast majority of the show's run, the checks from TLC were not cut to the individual family members. They were likely cut to a single entity, a family LLC controlled exclusively by Trent and Amber. Do the math. If the family earns a reported estimate of $25,000 to $40,000 per episode, and there are 10 episodes a season, plus specials, plus bonuses, we are talking about millions of dollars over the last decade. Where is that money? Look at the renovations. Look at the land. Look at the cars that Trent drives. Now look at Anna. Before she left, she was working part-time jobs while filming a hit TV show. Why would a reality star need to sell jewelry or work at a daycare to make rent if she was earning her fair share of the syndication money? The explosive theory is that she wasn't. The insider report that haunts this production is that the kids were paid in lifestyle, not cash. They were given a nice house to live in, cars to drive, and vacations to take, as long as they obeyed. The moment they disobeyed, the faucet turned off. This is not just bad parenting. This is alleged financial indentured servitude. This puts the theft by conversion mugshot of Jeffrey into a sickening new perspective. The family judged him for a property crime, while Anna was potentially the victim of a decade-long wage theft by the people who were supposed to protect her. If Anna were to ever sue for back wages, she would likely face a legal wall. We suspect that upon turning 18, the children are presented with contracts that retroactively sign away their rights to past footage in exchange for continued participation. It is a devil's bargain. Sign this, and you can stay on the show and maybe get a small stipend. Refuse, and you are cut off with nothing. Anna refused the dynamic, but Liz signed the dotted line. Let's look deeper at Liz's situation through this financial lens. The house she bought with Bryce? Internet detectives have pulled property records that seem to show a complex ownership structure. While Liz's name is on the deed, there are whispers that the down payment came from the family pot, which likely came with strings attached. This theorized financial tether means Trent and Amber effectively own her silence. If Liz were to speak out in defense of Anna or criticize her parents' methods, she risks not just her spot on the show, but potentially her home. She is leveraged to the hilt. And with a new baby, the stakes are too high for her to rebel. She is trapped in a golden cage built by her parents' ambition. And speaking of the baby, we have to address the grandchild bonus. In the reality TV industry, a birth special is one of the highest rated and highest paid events a franchise can have. Leighton's birth wasn't just a joyous family moment, it was a fiscal quarter goal. Reports suggest that the timing of the pregnancy and the wedding was heavily influenced by the production schedule. The network needed a big event to distract from the Anna drama. A baby is the perfect distraction. It softens the image of the grandparents. Look at how Trent and Amber are branding themselves as the doting Lolly and Pop. It is a rebranding campaign designed to wash away the stains of their treatment of Anna. They are using their granddaughter as a human shield against criticism. But the most disturbing element of this financial deep dive is what we call the company store theory. You see it when Trent sells Jonah a car, or when they help the kids with expenses. They create a debt cycle. By controlling the assets, the cars, the phones, the insurance, they ensure the adult children can never fully leave. Jonah's struggle to hold down a job and his move back home wasn't a failure of character. It was a feature of the system. If he is independent, he doesn't need the show. If he is struggling, he needs the show. Therefore, the parents are incentivized to sabotage their children's independence to keep the cast intact. Anna broke the cycle. She got her own money, her own house, and her own car without their help. That is why she is dangerous. She proved the system is a lie. Now, consider the future. What happens when the show ends? It will end eventually. The ratings are slipping. The audience is getting tired of the negativity. When the cameras turn off for the last time, Trent and Amber will likely be sitting on a fully paid-off estate with a healthy retirement fund. But what about the kids? Emma and Alex have spent their formative years performing for a lens instead of building real-world skills. Jonah has a resume full of aborted career paths filmed for entertainment. Liz is tied down young, and Anna is estranged. We predict a dark timeline for the Johnston children, where, 5 years post-cancellation, the financial reality hits them like a freight train. Without the show, they have no income, but they still have the trauma. This is the tragic pattern we have seen with the Duggars, the Goslins, and the Dance Moms girls. The parents walk away rich. The kids walk away with therapy bills. There is also the matter of the spin-off. We mentioned earlier that rumors are swirling about an Anna-centric show. If this happens, it represents a hostile takeover of the brand. Sources say Trent is vehemently opposed to any spin-off that does not list him as an executive producer. He reportedly wants a cut of Anna's future earnings, arguing that he made her famous. This level of entitlement confirms the narcissistic dynamic we discussed before. He views his children as intellectual property that he developed rather than human beings. If Anna manages to launch a show without him getting a cut, it will be the ultimate victory. It will be the first time in her life she keeps 100% of her worth. We must also touch upon the silence of the network. TLC has a history of protecting profitable families until the moment the legal liability becomes too great. They protected the Duggars until the FBI stepped in. They are protecting the Johnstons now. But their reports of emotional abuse and financial exploitation are reaching a boiling point. We have heard whispers that a major exposé article is being written by a mainstream journalist who has interviewed former crew members. These crew members are allegedly ready to go on record about the screaming matches, the forced retakes of emotional scenes, and the way the parents would allegedly withhold food or privileges from the younger kids until they nailed a line of dialogue. If this article drops, the show is over. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us watching a slow-motion car crash disguised as family entertainment. Every time you click on an episode, you are funding Trent and Amber's retirement and validating their control. But by watching channels like this, by sharing the exclusive theories and digging for the truth, you are helping to dismantle the facade. The final theory we want to leave you with is this. Trent and Amber never intended for the kids to leave. The 7 Little Johnstons brand requires 7 people. The entire premise of the show is the tight-knit group. By moving out and staying away, Anna didn't just break a rule. She broke the brand. She rendered the title of the show a lie. There are no longer 7 Little Johnstons united against the world. There is a corporation of 2 parents, a few employees, and 1 whistleblower who escaped. We will be monitoring the situation with Jeffrey closely. We are digging into the public records regarding the theft by conversion charge to see if there is more to the story, perhaps a frame job or a misunderstanding that the parents blew out of proportion. We are also tracking Liz's social media for any signs of the inevitable crack in her perfect facade. And most importantly, we are waiting for Anna's next move. Will she write a book? Will she start a podcast? Or will she simply live well, which is the best revenge of all? This story is not over. In fact, with the looming contract renewals and the rumored threats of a strike by the adult children, the real drama is just beginning. You need to be here when the news breaks. You need to be part of the army of truth seekers who refuse to let reality TV producers manipulate the narrative. If you believe Anna deserves her fair share of the fortune she helped build, hit that like button. If you think Trent and Amber need to be held accountable for the alleged financial and emotional damage they have caused, share this video. And if you want the reports that the network tries to delete, subscribe to 7 Little People and turn on the notification bell. We are the only ones telling you what is really happening behind the cameras. We'll see you in the next deep dive. The truth is coming. Just when we thought the dust had settled on the Season 7 fallout, a digital breadcrumb trail has appeared that changes the entire trajectory of the Johnston saga. Late last night, for exactly 12 minutes, a story appeared on Anna's secondary private social media account, the one she thinks the fans don't know about. We have screenshots. The image was grainy, taken in low light, but our enhancement software reveals what appears to be a filming permit application for the city of Atlanta. But here is the kicker. The production company listed on the document is not the one that produces 7 Little Johnstons. It is a rival production house known for producing unscripted content for a competing streaming giant. This is the smoking gun. This confirms the explosive theory that Anna isn't just negotiating a spin-off. She is planning a defection that would take the Johnston name to a platform where Trent and Amber have zero control and zero ability to earn royalties. We are calling this the streaming war theory. Insider reports suggest that TLC Legal is currently in a panic mode. If Anna takes her story, the real story of her emancipation and the alleged toxicity of her upbringing, to a streamer like Netflix or Hulu, she isn't bound by cable TV's family-friendly censors. She could say everything. She could name names. She could expose the production secrets we have only theorized about. The deleted post suggests that pre-production is already underway. This explains Trent's recent behavior on social media, where he has been posting manic, overly positive content about family loyalty. He isn't talking to the fans. He is trying to guilt-trip Anna before she signs the final deal that exposes him to a global audience. But the plot thickens with a new leak regarding Liz. We previously discussed her as the golden child trapped in the system, but new surveillance-style photos sent to our tip line show something shocking. Liz and Anna were spotted meeting in a parking lot of a Target 3 towns over from where the Johnstons live. No cameras, no microphones, no parents. Just 2 sisters talking intensely in a car for over an hour. Why hide? Why meet in secret if the estrangement is real? The theory is that Liz is feeding Anna information. Liz, who is inside the fortress, is allegedly telling Anna exactly what the parents are planning, what their legal strategy is, and which storylines they are concocting to smear Anna in the next season. Liz is the double agent we never saw coming. She can't leave because of the house and the baby, but she can help Anna burn the system down from the outside. We also need to discuss the NDA loophole. Legal experts who analyze reality TV contracts have pointed out a specific clause that might save Anna. Most non-disclosure agreements become void if the signer can prove illegal activity occurred. This brings us back to the theft by conversion concept, but applied to the parents. If Anna can prove in a court of law that her childhood earnings were misappropriated, that the lifestyle she was paid in did not equal the 15% mandated by moral, if not state, standards, she can break the NDA. We are hearing rumors of a forensic accounting team being hired by Anna's new management. They are allegedly going back 10 years, auditing every episode, every appearance fee, every sponsored post. If they find one missing dollar, the gag order is lifted, and Anna is free to speak. Let's look at the psychological warfare Amber is allegedly waging on the younger boys. Recent episodes show Alex becoming increasingly isolated. He is the only biological son, and the pressure on him to carry the Johnston legacy is immense. But reports say Alex has been secretly reaching out to Anna via gaming servers. Since the parents monitor the phones and texts, the gaming chat rooms are the only safe space for the siblings to communicate. The theory is that Alex is asking Anna for an exit strategy. He is watching his older sister thrive, and he wants out. If Alex leaves, the biological son, the prince of the family, it is game over for Amber's narrative. She can blame Anna's background for her rebellion, but she cannot blame Alex's. His departure would prove the toxicity is coming from the parents, not the adoption trauma. We have to address the Jeffrey factor again because new information has surfaced about his connections. It turns out Jeffrey isn't just a random guy with a mugshot. Sources suggest he has a cousin who works in entertainment law. This changes the power dynamic entirely. The parents thought they were dealing with a thug, their words, implied through their actions. But they might actually be dealing with a family that knows how to navigate the legal system better than they do. The theory is that Jeffrey was planted in Anna's life not by chance, but by mutual friends who knew she needed protection. He isn't controlling her. He is shielding her. The photos of them looking happy? That's the look of relief. That's the look of someone who finally has a bodyguard against their own parents. Now, let's talk about the strike threat. We are hearing unprecedented rumors that the entire adult cast of the show, excluding Trent and Amber, banded together before the latest filming block to demand a collective raise. This included Jonah, Liz, and Anna, before she fully quit. They allegedly realized that without the kids, the show is just two middle-aged people complaining about renovations. The parents reportedly crushed this union attempt by threatening to cut off access to the grandchildren and the cars. This is union busting 101, applied to a family. It explains the tension we see in Jonah's face. He tried to stand up, he got crushed, and now he is defeated. But Anna didn't fold. She walked. This makes her the leader of a resistance movement that is currently dormant, but not dead. There is also a bizarre conspiracy regarding the sudden influx of new pets in the Johnston household. Every time a child leaves or pulls away, Trent and Amber get a new animal. A new dog, a new cat, a new bird. Psychologists call this replacement attachment. They are filling the void of their obedient children with obedient animals. It is a visual representation of their need for control. You can train a dog to sit and stay. You cannot train a 24-year-old woman to suppress her trauma forever. The increasing menagerie at the Johnston house is a red flag waving in the wind, signaling that the nest is empty and the parents are panicking. We must also speculate on the grandparent intervention. Trent's father, Poppy, has always been a fan favorite for his no-nonsense attitude. We haven't seen much of him lately. Why? The exclusive theory is that Poppy has privately sided with Anna. He has seen how fame changed his son. He has seen greed. Rumor has it there was a blowout fight at a family gathering, not filmed, where Poppy told Trent he was losing his soul for a cable TV check. If the grandfather speaks out? If Poppy appears on Anna's new podcast or streaming show? That is the nuclear option. The audience respects Poppy. His word carries weight. Trent knows this, which is why Poppy has essentially been written out of the recent storylines. They are silencing the elders to protect the grift. Finally, we need to issue a warning about the fake reconciliation arc coming in Season 8. We have received scripts, or at least outlines, that suggest the producers are going to hire an actress to play a friend of Anna's who acts as a go-between. They might even use deepfake voiceovers or edited phone calls to make it seem like Anna is on the other end of the line. Do not be fooled. If you do not see Anna's face, in the room, speaking the words, it is a fabrication. The technology exists, and the desperation is high enough. They will try to trick you into thinking the family is healing because they know you won't watch a tragedy forever. The war for the truth is happening now. The lawyers are billing by the hour. The forensic accountants are digging through the hard drives. And somewhere in Georgia, Anna Johnston is sitting in a room with a rival producer, planning the interview that will end the 7 Little Johnstons era forever. You are witnessing the collapse of a reality TV dynasty in real time. Do not look away. Do not let the network distract you with cute baby photos and manufactured wedding drama. Keep your eyes on the money, keep your eyes on the legal filings, and keep your eyes on this channel. We will be the first to drop the trailer for Anna's new project the second it leaks. Like, subscribe, and share this video to let the algorithm know that the truth is more important than the contract. The silence is about to be broken.